I'm a very big fan of green fragrances and I love the tea note. This one has it. Let's get into it. This is Hawas Kobra. This is one of the latest releases in the Rasasi Hawas line of fragrances. Very popular line. It's everywhere. And this is supposed to be a clone of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. Granted, of course, that fragrance is very popular. It's an expensive fragrance. And, everyone is trying to get a piece of the pie. This fragrance is very interesting. I like it. And I will review it independently. I believe like this is a fragrance good enough to stand on its own, with of course a lot of inspiration from Louis Vuitton's Imagination, but it's still a very interesting choice. The presentation is very similar to the other Rasasi fragrances. I mean, the box and the bottle and everything. You have the snake around the cap, and the only difference is that it's a fingerprint magnet. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but oh yeah, it picks up your fingerprints alright very quickly. Now, when you first spray this fragrance, you get a very clean note of neroli. That's the first thing that hits my nose. Of course, like it is, the opening and the top notes are ginger and citrus. Nowadays, I think it's just like people don't really put much thought into it. They just like put ginger with some kind of citrus and it's good to go. But honestly, I don't get any ginger or any citrus up top. This is pure neroli. Like the first blast I spray this on. Actually, let me spray it on skin for you guys so you can see it again. Oh yeah, big time neroli. And like when it just changes a little bit and goes down to the mid, some kind of like a green note comes out. I don't know, like it is supposed to be the tea, so it's like a tea note, but it's not like the typical tea that you smell, as in like a dry tea. Of course it's not dry tea, it's noted as the green tea, but it's not exactly green tea as in like the tea, the herb. No, I get some kind of like a fantasy note a little bit. So it's like a green fantasy note paired up with some spiciness that is supposed to be the cinnamon. Although like again, I don't get like that much of a cinnamon note. It's just very fresh and clean. It's very juicy, but in a very, how to say, like a fantasy way. Again, it's not realistic by any means, but it's very pleasant. And then, of course, it has amber listed. It has woodsy notes. Yes, I get the woods, obviously, like that kind of like a very solid backbone that it has after a while, especially when it stays on your skin for a while. But in terms of smell, it's just very fresh, clean, but it also has that kind of like a synthetic sweetness to it a tiny bit. So yeah, if you're looking for something that is like very very clean, I don't think it has that synthetic sweetness. So I mean, I love it, but probably if you're a fan of like very fresh type of fragrances, try it at least before you commit to a full bottle. In terms of projection, it projects well. It's not like nuclear. It just because it's a clean fragrance, it's a fresh fragrance. End of the day, it's just not. It doesn't have that oomph to it. So it's it is decent for a fragrance of its style. Maybe for the first hour it projects well, but it is a superstar in terms of longevity. No complaints. There easily lasts 12 hours on my skin. No exaggeration. This thing crazy. So if you love to smell clean without hurting others during the day, and like you don't want to give people headache, definitely is a good choice. And the performance crazy, very 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 nice. The only downside is that like in the late dry down, like past maybe the 8 hour mark, I would say it gets a little bit synthetic. It that, how say it, Like, you know how the Middle Eastern fragrances are? Now, granted, my bottle is like a week old, so I've been wearing it right out of the box. Maybe if it sits on the shelf, it gets better. Because, you know, so many fragrances nowadays with clone fragrance, especially, you have to give them some time. I don't know why, but they just become better. Now, you know, people name the process. It's like, do this and do that, keep it, put it in the box. I don't know. I don't do these things. I just buy the fragrance, put it on the shelf, and let it, you know, settle, I guess. But once it sits on the shelf for a while, probably it will be different, and I will definitely give you an update on the performance. But, um, you know, in terms of just what I see now after a week, oh man, it's so good. And again, because the performance is so good, can't really complain about much. And you know, for the price, it's a very decent deal. So this was the story of this fragrance, Hawas Kobra. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. I will be very happy to answer. Consider subscribing if you have not already, and you know, helps the channel grow, and I can bring more of these fragrances to you guys. Have a very good day and night ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.